Oh, my love, you startled me. Yeah, we finished the call about 5 or 10 minutes ago. No, don't come in. Um, well, I'm looking at something and I don't want you to see it. Just give me a moment, okay? Alright. Okay, you can come in now. Sorry, I was looking at some options for birthday presents for you. I know your birthday isn't for a while, but I suddenly had a couple ideas. Well, I didn't want the surprise to be ruined by you seeing what was on my screen when you came in or anything. But anyways, what are you up to? Oh, well, I'm done with all my meetings for the day. There are a few other things I was hoping to get done tonight that I could work on, but it's been a long day and they aren't super time sensitive, so yeah, if you're hungry and want to start on dinner, I'll just send these last couple of emails, then meet you downstairs in a few minutes, okay? Yeah, it'll be okay. They don't have to be done until the end of the day tomorrow. Plus, I'm still waiting for Amanda to send me the detailed report from last week so that I can do the analysis anyways. I thought she did, but it turns out that she accidentally sent me the ones from 2 weeks ago instead. And she's not in the domestic office, so by the time I realize she sent me the wrong ones, she already gone home for the night. So she won't be able to get it to me until the next morning. Yeah, but I mean, I've done that plenty of times, so I get it. And I don't think I'll be able to get any of the other things done either. So it just makes sense to do them tomorrow, So, anyways, I'll just send a couple emails and call it a night, okay? What do you mean? Why wouldn't I be okay? Um, oh, I mean, I'm fine. As I said, it's just been a long day, so that's probably why I seem a bit more low energy than usual. Not very, but still, go ahead and make all of it. It keeps well, so we can eat whatever leftovers there are tomorrow, and we wouldn't have to cook either. I know we'd both appreciate that. You're not going to let me get away with hiding it, are you? No, it's okay. It's not that. I can talk about it. But was it that obvious? My ears are folded over, and I'm doing that thing with my tails, aren't I? Thanks. I needed a hug. You know, sometimes I envy you humans, and other Kemenomimi. Hmm? Oh, nothing. I didn't. Hmm. Nothing's wrong with it, I guess. Just. I don't know. Sometimes it's a bit annoying that you can always read me better than I can read you. Just because us kitsune have much more obvious cues like that. Though, it does feel really nice when you pet me there. You know, there are a lot of different types of Kime no Mimi. Kitsune, of course, but also plenty of others. And there are certain stereotypes about us that persist and become sort of an expectation. For example, it can be different with strays, but domestic neckos are often seen as demure or submissive, or that they would like to play with balls of yarn and eat fish, and it all becomes part of the way we think about these neckos in relation to these stereotypes, whether that's fair or not. Right, exactly. Of course, a lot of neckos are like that, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with being submissive or liking fish, but it can be frustrating for the ones who aren't like that. You're right, and us kitsune aren't necessarily directly affected by the neko stereotypes, though there are certainly some similarities between us. For us... No, I promise it's fine. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to say it. You know the stories about us kitsune, right? Most of them are based on true stories, actually. But most of the ones that people around here are familiar with are the ones that are a bit more folklore. We're not rare per se, but kitsune have always been a minority here. And so, a lot of the stories about us that are known here are either the stories brought back here after our culture's first contact, or they are genuinely stories from our folklore, both sets of which are lacking in broad representation and nuance. Mm-hmm. Though they've been embellished over time, of course. Kitsune are considered unique amongst Kime no Mimi for having multiple tails, and many of us do. I mean, I have 3 of them. We're born with one, and any subsequent tails grow in over time, spread out over our long lifespans. And how many we'll end up with? Well, it's partially genetic, but there are a bunch of other factors, so we never really know. It's a bit like height in that way. Like, your parents can both be tall, but you're... I'm sorry. Can you just listen and let me get this all out? Otherwise, I'm not sure I'll be able to. Thanks. You can keep petting me, though. Hmm. Yeah. Just like that. Hmm. But long ago, before we understood those complications, having more tails was seen as a measure of virtue, purity, or power, depending on the situation. But it was always a mark of honor. So, having more tails, as many as 9, was a sign of being older. being an adult, being an elder in the tribe. With all of the wisdom and power that entails, which only serve to perpetuate the ideas that more tales meant more important. A lot of revisionists have muddied the historical record by changing accounts or paintings and insisting that many of the major figures in our culture's histories had 9 tails. Even 8 if they're being conservative about it. So, even though we now know that the number of tails a kitsune has doesn't really matter, and that it's just mostly a marker of age, though, again, most even, Millennium Kitsune only have 4 or 5 tails. But it's so ingrained in our culture that we can't help but to think it's true. And it's not just us. Those ideas about us are pervasive. Where do you think phrases like Cloud 9 or Dress to the Nines come from? Yeah, they're calques from our mother tongue. Cloud 9 is referencing both the supposed wisdom of the 9-tailed kitsune and also how their tails are soft and fluffy, like a cloud. Dress to the Nines is a shortening of Dress to the Nines likeness. It does. Except for the fact that there's nothing inherently special about the 9-tailed kitsune in that regard. Keep on petting me, please. Oh, right. It is actually relevant. That video conference meeting I just had, it was me, the rest of my team, and our client and his assistant. We'd seen the initial services request on the paper, but this was our first time talking to him. And this was the time for teasing out all the details of what the contract would entail. For context, this client's request is fairly straightforward, the kind of thing we do all the time, but he's convinced that it's this huge, special thing that no one could ever possibly understand, much less a 3-tailed kitsune like me. I certainly hope I couldn't have to compete with this 5-tailed dude. But he, refused to believe that I was the team lead. He would ignore all my suggestions until another of my team or his assistants would say the same thing a few minutes later. And at least my team was supportive and would usually say something like, maybe we could do XYZ, like Azaria mentioned earlier. I don't know. But it's frustrating and humiliating, and to be honest, it's something I've always been insecure about since I was, well, not quite a little kid, but since I was pretty small. And usually I could just shrug it off when someone brings it up, but today it was just so consistent and insistent that it had to be deliberate, and I tried so hard to act like it didn't bother me, like I didn't even notice. But I'm hurt quite a bit, if I'm being honest. It was. Yeah. Yes, I know. I just went on a ramble about how these expectations and stereotypes are nonsense, but the fact that I know that doesn't mean my subconscious emotions are going to care. And they didn't really. Thanks. You do? You really like my tails? I do take good care of them. Brushing them every night before bed is super relaxing, but it's always so much better when you do it. Yeah, just like that. More obvious cues, hmm? But, yeah, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. You're always so nice and gentle, and you're so warm. And you're always willing to listen when I need to get things off of my chest. Even if I tend to be pretty bad about asking you to. I think we both take better care of each other than we do ourselves. And I do love you for it, sweetheart. And the other things, of course. Oh, right. Those emails. Can we keep sitting like this for another few minutes? You're just so warm, and I'm just so comfortable in your lap like this. I love you.